Hi everyone, this is Charmaine here, and I'm the dietitian that helps people reverse type 2 diabetes with plant-based eating. Welcome to my channel and welcome to our very first Reversing Diabetes Q&A, and I'm excited to answer all of your questions. If you like this video, make sure you press thumbs up so that more people can see this video and learn about reversing type 2 diabetes, and let's get started. The reason for this is because a lot of times your fat accumulation doesn't just happen in fat cells. So it also happens in your muscle cells, in your liver cells. So a lot of people, with skinny people who have type 2 diabetes, they may not have a high accumulation of fat in their fat cells, but they may have a high accumulation of fat in their muscle cells and liver cells. Specifically in the muscle cells, the fat that's accumulating in the muscle cells are called intramyocellular lipids. So that means that there's a buildup of fat in the cells, and even in studies done by Harvard, they actually found that even healthy young individuals who have a high accumulation of fat, which is intramyocellular lipids, in their cells, they will still have insulin resistance even if they are young and lean. That's why even people that are lean may still develop insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Yes, this diet is good for people at any age. I've helped people in their 60s and 70s from people in their 20s. So it's definitely beneficial for people at every age. With exercise, a lot of times it actually lowers your blood sugar, usually, right? Because your muscles uptake the glucose from your blood and it lowers your blood sugar. However, there are a couple of reasons why it might do the opposite. One is if you don't have any fuel, that means if you don't have any food in your body and you're exercising, especially if you're on strong medication, there might be a reason why your body is doing this is because it's actually breaking down the glycogen in the liver and making it into glucose so that your body will have fuel, right? But a lot of times that actually increases your blood sugar, but it's just a mechanism of your body trying to produce more blood sugar so that you can exercise. Another reason why is because some type of exercises, they actually induce a high stress environment. I know it sounds like the opposite of what we usually hear because exercise is supposed to help you relax, but there has been studies that shows that some form of exercise that are of high intensity actually produces more cortisol. With cortisol, we all know it's a stress hormone. So with cortisol, it actually sometimes increases our blood sugar. It's all because cortisol is supposed to help us have this fight or flight response when we're stressed, right? So a lot of times when that happens, it actually increases the blood sugar so that we can have the energy to fight or flight in stressful situations. So it really depends on what type of exercise. And again, everybody is different. So if you do find some type of exercise to increase your blood sugar, then maybe you can do more lower intensity exercise like yoga or walking. Those will be lower intensity exercise. Yes, I do speak Spanish, but only when it comes to nutrition. I actually used to coach nutrition in Spanish, but if you talk to me about like cars or anything else, I am not fluent. I will understand what you're saying, but I'm not fluent anything else other than nutrition. I would argue that artificial sugar is actually even worse than real sugar because artificial sugar actually makes your taste bud taste sweet, right? And then your brain thinks that, okay, like I'm getting food, right? But it actually tricks your brain to release digestive enzyme, and it even makes you hungrier and crave more sweets because it's released the digestive enzyme, but it's not getting any glucose that it's promised. And so a lot of times it actually makes people even hungrier or crave sweets even more. So I would actually try to stay away from that. In a lot of cases, people also reported headaches or even thirst because of artificial sweeteners. So I would try to stay away from that. If you want anything to sweeten your, let's say your coffee, I would do like a date syrup. You can blend dates and water together, and you can make your own date syrup that way to sweeten it up. So that's something that you can do. There has been studies that shows the benefits of intermittent fasting. It helps you lose weight, it helps you improve your blood sugar levels, even in some cases reverse insulin resistance. However, if you are on strong medications like glipizide or even insulin, a lot of times intermittent fasting may not be a good option because it may cause dawn phenomenon. So with dawn phenomenon is when, like, let's say at night or a long period of time you're not eating, and at the same time your medication is lowering your blood sugar. What your body does is that it breaks down the glycogen in your liver and it makes blood sugar and it spikes up your blood sugar. That's why a lot of people will, even if they didn't have any dinner at night, the next morning they will still have high blood sugar because of dawn phenomenon. So that's something that you might want to look out for. Another thing too is, I would say, with intermittent fasting, if you don't feel hungry at certain times, then you don't eat, and naturally you do intermittent fasting. And if that does okay for your blood sugar, if that actually helps your blood sugar, then that's fine. However, if you're trying to force yourself to only eat in a window of time, and outside of that window of time, you're hungry, you're starving, and it's just not good, because that actually will backfire and lead to overeating or even binge eating. So I would recommend you to just listen to your body and eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, because your body knows best how much you need. It can, again, might not be the only reason why, but with neuropathy, especially in the eye, that might be a sign of high blood sugar and diabetes. Again, I'm not here to diagnose anyone or make any diagnosis, but just know that could be one of the signs and symptoms. Again, it depends. Everybody is different, but when you are trying to reverse your insulin resistance, a plant-based diet is really, really good for that. Again, usually what I tell people is that when they're in the face of reversing insulin resistance, it is best to adhere 100% to a plant-based diet. Then, once they are able to reverse their insulin resistance, then they can then they can include more other foods, even if it's not plant-based, every once in a while. Again, because nobody's perfect, we can't do 100% of everything at the same time. So I always teach people to build a system where they can include other foods once in a while and still keep diabetes at bay. So you don't necessarily have to be plant-based for life, but it is very, very effective in reversing your insulin resistance. Yeah, that sometimes do happen. Some people may feel like they have low sugar symptom even if it's a high sugar, because sometimes if your body is used to having high blood sugar, and sometimes when it goes a little bit lower than normal, you may still feel that low sugar symptom because your body is not used to it. And again, with a whole foods plant-based diet, that's something that can help you balance that out and be able to help you have a more normal blood sugar. And even if you have a normal blood sugar reading, you won't have those lower symptoms anymore, because you'll be able to reverse your insulin resistance and be able to lower your blood sugar. I would say plant-based butter, you still want to avoid it because it is high in fat, and our goal here is to reverse insulin resistance and to lower the fat content that is in the cells, or the fatty acids that's in the cells. So I would say try to limit that. And another thing that you want to be careful for, even though a lot of plant-based butter nowadays doesn't have a hydrogenated oil, you want to avoid especially plant-based butter or shortenings that have hydrogenated oil, because that's actually the worst form of oil. They actually turn liquid oil into solid that looks like butter in the process of hydrogenation. And it's really bad because that actually produces what we call trans fat, and trans fat actually increases your bad cholesterol, which is your LDL cholesterol, and actually is a recipe for heart attacks, so or heart disease. So I would definitely make sure that you stay away from that. And yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I'll try to answer them in another Q&A and give you guys more information and knowledge on reversing type 2 diabetes. Once again, if you like this video, make sure you press thumbs up and make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification button so that whenever there's a new video, you'll be notified. And if you're interested in working with me and my team in my nutrition coaching program on reversing insulin resistance and reversing diabetes, then make sure you book a call with us. There's the link in the description below. Again, the call is free. It's just for us to build an action plan together. So let's get started. I will see you guys soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.